First of all, Teddy, were you not suspect? They asked me this question. Were you not suspect when Adam Aron started selling off his shares right before the SEC was about to execute the transparency rule? So here everybody is. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, but we are hearing that the SEC now is executing or putting forward or trying to sign off on a transparency rule, which is going to show us the exact amount of synthetics that Adam Aron should know about, by the way. It's going to show us that number. We should dogpile onto the stock when we see that number, because we're all assuming that it's in the several billions, right? And that should trigger the squeeze. Okay, the dogpile should trigger the squeeze, because everybody's going to pounce on this thing when they see how oversold it is due to synthetics. If that's the case, why in the hell was Adam Aron selling prior? Why wouldn't he hold if he knows we're about to squeeze as well? Because he does know the audited number, because it's his stock, and yes, he has access to that information. Whether you guys understand that or not, he absolutely does. Here's the reason, they said. Because he doesn't have a list of several billion synthetic shares. He knows that doesn't exist. He's been playing neutral. He's been playing dumb so that the apes don't leave. Now, he thought that the SEC was going to execute just like the rest of us did. He didn't know what the steps were that they were taking, so he had to get ahead of the SEC, and he had to sell before we found out that there is absolutely nothing going on behind the scenes that would trigger a MOAS. And because 90% of us own the float, that means 90% of us, when we find out, are probably going to sell, which would then plummet the stock down to 50 cents a share, taking his ownership, the millions of shares that he had remaining, his retirement fund, it would become practically useless. Nil. Nada. Zip. He'd have to sit for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years to try to get it back to where we've had it, because we've been expecting the MOAS. You guys understand that? So then the question arose, okay, I get that. That does make sense. He got ahead of it because he knew as soon as we found out there were no synthetics, or not enough to create a MOAS, that we're all going to sell as fast as we possibly can, and it's going to plummet the price all the way down to 50 cents. His shares become worthless. Okay. Well, what's going on with what's on the board? The shares on loan. Why are they still there? They're still there because it's bait being dangled in front of you. They don't want anybody to leave. There's 16% that's been in play, and that's the bait. That's the bait. That's the play. There's 4% on constant rotation that hedge funds, 4 to 5% that they're constantly making money on. Guys, you keep seeing it. The dollar amount goes from $14 back to $17.50, $14 back to $17.50, $14 to $16, $14 to $17. Like, what the hell? That's that 4% getting batted around. The money being made, the rotation, the recycle, the money being made. The 16% is there because if it were to fall below 16, let's say the actual cemented shares on loan, the short interest, fell to like 11%. We all walk. We all start selling. Because now there's no MOAS. That's the obvious. The money on the board is the most obvious. So you have Adam Aron selling ahead of time because he knows that there's no synthetics. Then you have hedge funds tricking us into thinking there are, so they're keeping short interest elevated. They could have sold that shit off. They could have bought back, covered a long time ago. But if they do that, the play's over. Why would they want the play to end when we're all still buying? We're all still here. There's money continually going back into the play. Adam Aron already knew. The proof was he sold prior to the SEC executing. Faked out right now with the short interest in the shares on loan, and they're making money. These guys in my gym were like, the firm that they have in New York has been continually making money off of this whole scam. Digest it, Y'all have an awesome night.
All right, everybody. I had to watch this video over quite a few times. We're reacting to Teddy Zane. I forgot what the title of the video is, but shout out to Teddy Zane. This is nothing against him. This is apes trying to figure things out step by step together. So I'm just trying to break down each theory. There were some things where I was like, wow, I can almost agree with that. But let's just get into it, okay? So, is the stock going to 50 cents? Are we in a constant loop? What's going on with the utilization and the short interest? Why did Adam Aaron sell? I'm just trying to break this up piece by piece because I don't know how to go about this video. I just watched Teddy Zane's video, and whether this is all right, let's just put it this way, right? You can't prove that this theory is true or not. You can't prove that there are synthetics or they're not synthetics. So hear me out, okay? Let's just backtrack a minute, because we're talking about now. We're talking about present day, but what was left out is previous data and what previously happened, right? So we're in a constant loop where they're cycling money back and forth. He was saying 14 to 17, 14 to 17, right? They're getting that 4%. But what about the drop from $70 to $14? Is that left out somewhere? Just kind of wanted to bring that up, because how are you going to say there's no synthetics in this play when 90% own the float then, 90% own the float now, and utilization's been at 100%? It just beats, it completely surpasses me as to, okay, let's put it this way, right? Let's say he was right. And the utilization isn't what it says. There's shares on loan. It's not at 100%, right? There's shares able to be cycled back and forth. Okay, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It's not at 100%. That's just what's shown to us. It's bait. But you're still going to tell me that 10% that was left over of the float, where the shares can be lent out, is going to bring a stock price down from 70 to 14? What happened to the 90%ers? This is what's not going over my head. Personally, real quick, just to get it out of the way, my personal belief is, let's just scratch this off the list. Synthetics. I think there is synthetics. I am going to say that this is debunked personally. That's just personal, so that is going to get out of the way. This is all personal, right? What do we have next? What did he say next after that? Adam Aaron selling off his shares. Let's talk about this. Adam Aaron selling most of his shares. Now, the thing with Adam Aaron, I think it is fishy with the guy, because we saved his company, right? We saved his company. He sold off stock. Don't get me wrong. He announced it first, well before he sold off, which is good. That's great for us. But there are things that get me. Like Adam Aaron, he could be doing more for the company. As the CEO of the company, there could be more done for the shareholders, right? This is what gets me a little fishy about his theory, because it does seem like Adam Aaron's baiting people to hold the stock, which, don't get me wrong, it's a stock. He wants people to buy into his company. But hanging around, as in issuing NFTs, doing this, that, helping the company fundamentally, which a CEO should do, don't get me wrong. But there are other things that he could do to help out retail. Dig in a bit. I know some things there are there's legal allegations that go back and forth, but with the whole Adam Aaron situation and him selling off his shares, personally, I don't know what to think about that. And also, I don't really care what to think about that, because retail as a whole already owns 90%. I don't care if Adam Aaron sells. I don't care. If he wants his company to run in the ground, the CEO wasn't here for us when we saved the company. That wasn't the thing. We did it, not him. I don't care about that. So let's put that aside. What else was talked about throughout the video? I'm trying to break this down. So we had synthetics, Adam Aaron selling, the stock going to 50 cents. Let's talk about the stock going to 50 cents, because that was something to think about. How is the stock gonna go to 50 cents and there's being no synthetics in the play? That is interesting, because now let's take what he said before I get ahead of myself, right? If we saw short interest drop to 11% and it caused us to sell off, which I've talked about this before, all the data we're shown is screwed up. I wouldn't pay attention to it as your ride or die, buy or sell. But let's talk about it. AMC to 50 cents. If that was the case, if AMC was going to 50 cents, what would be the point of their cycle, right? They don't want... So if they showed the real short percent, like he said, an example he said was 11%. Okay, 11% drop. It would cause us to sell off. 90% of us holding to sell off. Even if that was the case, shorts would still have to cover positions, and they're going to cover at a price on the way down to 50 cents. This beats me. This beats me. Do I think it's going to 50 cents and there's absolutely no synthetics? Absolutely not. I disagree. As for theories, like if it doesn't squeeze by June, July, right? Here's the thing. Lou says if this doesn't squeeze this month, you got fucked. This guy is saying June, July, August. Let me tell you something. Fuck the time frame, because what they're doing to us, what they're doing to the stock, this sideways chop after this rundown from high 40s, it's all not right. So putting a time frame on putting a day basis, a grade basis on a bully to stop bullying, it just doesn't make sense. You don't know what's going on in their head, and I don't know what analogy to use for this. I just pulled this out of my ass, but guys, I don't know. I just wanted to react to this. I didn't want to think about it for 50 days, and because no matter how long you think about a theory, you're never going to get to a factual point. It's just going to branch off into other theories. So overall, that is what I got for this video. And I want to know comments in the description. And shout out to Teddy something for making that video. Insane theory. That's really it, guys. I'll see you later in tonight's video. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.